Everyone, this is Modula and Podrick, and we will be informing you all about what is going on in the digital world.
Welcome to the future humans. Let's start.
Let's talk about this massive shift that's happening, like right under our noses. It turns out that every single post, every picture, every piece of content you share out in the open is becoming the raw material, basically the textbook, for the next generation of AI. So, yeah, we need to figure out what that actually means for all of us. You know, to really get our heads around this, let's start with a classic moment from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Jeff Spicoli gets a pizza delivered to his history class, and this one line he says, it perfectly and hilariously captures the misunderstanding at the very heart of the debate between us and the platforms we use every day. So Spicoli's logic is pretty simple, right? We're both in the room, so it must be our time. And his teacher, Mr. Hand, he actually agrees, and then he immediately shares the pizza with the entire class. This is the perfect metaphor for our online content. We think we're in this shared space, but the platforms, they see our posts and pictures as their pizza to do with whatever they want. And this slide right here, it just nails that misunderstanding. As creators, marketers, or just regular people, we feel this sense of co-ownership. I mean, we build the communities, we provide all the value. But the platforms are basically saying, yep, you're right, it's our platform, and thanks for the pizza, we'll be feeding it to our new AI. Okay, so this isn't just some abstract idea anymore. It is happening right now. All those valuable thoughts, the expert analysis, the stories you've posted for years and years, they're now being used in a completely new way. They've literally become the primary food source for generative AI. Let's just look at the facts. Not long ago, both Meta and Adobe updated their terms of service, and it caused a huge uproar. Why? Because they're now spelling it out in black and white. Your public information, posts, images, all that data is fair game for training their AI. And you know those viral posts where people say, I do not consent. Sadly, they don't have any legal power here. So here's the really crucial part, this difference between ownership and licensing. You absolutely own the copyright to your original work, no question. But the moment you clicked agree on those terms of service, you handed these platforms a very, very broad license. They can copy your stuff, share it, and most importantly, learn from it. And here's a wild thought. Meta often has more rights to use your company's content than you do as an employee. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. Okay, I know, that sounds pretty alarming, but let's flip the script for a minute. For marketers, for thought leaders, for anyone building a brand, this could be a massive opportunity. I mean, what if you could strategically become the answer that AI spits out? And this is exactly how it works. You share your expert insights on a platform like LinkedIn. The large language models, the LLMs, right, the AI engines that are constantly scraping the web, they see your content getting tons of engagement and they index it as credible. So the next thing you know, someone asks a question about your industry, and boom, the AI serves up an answer based on your work, making you look like the authority. And there's another huge plus here. AI indexing is basically making our best content evergreen. You know that brilliant post from 6 months ago or even 2 years ago that just disappeared into the social media void? Well, an LLM can now dig that up and resurface it, giving your best insights a second, third, maybe even a fourth life. It rewards your expertise long after you hit publish. This quote really just sums up the optimistic view perfectly. The idea that AI is using your content shouldn't be scary. It should be seen as a sign you are doing something right. It means your content is so good, so impactful, that it's being used as a source of truth. From this angle, the best thing to do is just lean in. But, and this is a really big but, there's another side to this story, a much more personal and maybe even darker side. Because while these AI models are learning from your professional content, well, they're also learning about you. This is the question that changes everything. We've been talking about your brand, your company. But what about your personal identity? What can an AI figure out just by glancing at your public activity online? So, recent academic research actually put this to the test, and the findings are pretty stark. These web browsing LLMs, we're talking powerful AI like OpenAI's GPT-4o, can be given nothing more than your social media username. And from there, they just go to your public profile and start making some surprisingly accurate guesses about who you are. Let's just look at the data for a second. The accuracy here is what's so wild. Gender, it's the easiest thing for it to guess. But look at socioeconomic status and political orientation, both have moderate to high accuracy. Even age, which is the hardest to figure out, is still something the AI can get in the ballpark on. And remember, this is all just from your public content. This chart really drives the point home. You can see it clearly. Based on tests with a huge dataset, models like GPT-4o are way better than just random guessing. They are actively building a demographic profile of you without you ever giving them that info directly. It's all based on the digital breadcrumbs we all leave behind. So why does this matter? Well, the researchers warn that this kind of power opens the door to some really serious risks. We're talking large-scale surveillance, advertising that's so targeted it's manipulative, and even its use in state-sponsored influence campaigns. It creates all these new ways for our data to get leaked. This goes way, way beyond just marketing. So we're left with these two powerful competing truths, right? On one side, you've got this incredible opportunity, and on the other, a pretty significant risk. The only way to really navigate this whole thing is to draw a very clear line between the public you and the private you. And this slide really lays out the path forward. Your public content, that's your thought leadership, your articles, things designed to be seen, that's where the opportunity is. That's where you can lean in and try to become the answer. But your private content, proprietary company info, sensitive data, anything you'd save in a Google Doc or Adobe's Creative Cloud, that's a completely different story. The concerns about platforms accessing that data are totally legitimate, and that's the stuff that needs to be fiercely protected. Which really brings us to our final and most crucial question. Every one of us is actively participating in making AI smarter and more capable every single day. But as we feed it our content, both on purpose and by accident, who's actually responsible for making sure this incredibly powerful technology is used safely? Is it the platforms? Is it us, the users? Is it the government? That is the conversation we all need to be having, starting right now. Thanks for tuning in.